Welcome to a fantastic episode of Mac Music Review. In this episode of the YouTube channel, I was going to say podcast. I don't know why. I don't have a podcast. Anyway, in this episode of YouTube, I'm going to be showing you my CD collection. And yesterday, I went to Second & Charles, which is a store that sells like used CDs and sells vinyls and used books and all kinds of stuff, movies, all that kind of stuff. And I picked up a ton of CDs. So, let's just hop into it. I have a somewhat big collection. I'm sure very small compared to a lot of other people who've been collecting for a lot longer than me. I've been collecting for like 2 or 3 years, I guess. But let's just hop right into it. To kick things off, we have Zeal by King's Kaleidoscope. Ironically, this is the only King's Kaleidoscope album that I own, and the only King's Kaleidoscope album that I haven't reviewed. I've even reviewed their like old EPs and stuff. That's the next review on the channel is going to be Sen, which is the first thing they ever created. So, I mean, that's kind of crazy. This is the booklet. You know, you got trees and then the fire on this side. It's honestly really cool. I really like the packaging for this album. Actually bought it at the concert. Most of the albums I got off of Amazon. But that one I actually got at the concert, which is cool. This is TobyMac's Tonight. Also one of the first albums I ever owned. That's kind of cool. I like the actual CD on that one. It's pretty cool. This is, Hard Love by Need to Breathe. Let's open it up. Pretty cool. The CD itself is also pretty neat. The back right there. Alright, also, these are some of my oldest albums I owned. Some of the first CDs I ever owned. Colton Dixon, Anchor. Back of that is pretty neat. Also, A Messenger, his first album. I saw this guy live at SeaWorld, which is kind of a weird place for a concert, but they were doing some Christian concert thing. And I didn't even ask for those CDs, and I just got them for my birthday. So, that was kind of neat. Kind of started my CD collecting, you could say, some of my first ones. Found this at Second & Charles. It's so awesome. It wasn't even with all like the Christian albums. It wasn't in the Christian section of the music, just by itself. I mean, it was just with everything else, and that was a really exciting find. Made by Hawk Nelson, one of the most nostalgic albums. Once again, one of the first albums I ever owned. I love this album. Loved it so much, in fact, that I pre-ordered their next album, the album that came after Made. And this is actually the only signed album that I own. When I bought it, it actually came with, there were 2 versions of the album. And if you bought the deluxe version, you got to have the signed copy and just a regular sleeve. And the CD was actually in the regular sleeve, and I threw away the regular sleeve and put the CD in this sleeve right here. And that's really cool. This is a special album for me. I still really like the songs on this one. I own 2 Steven Curtis Chapman CDs. One of my mom's favorite artists. Sorry about that. All About Love and Firsthand. There we go. Picked this up at Goodwill, mostly because I thought the album cover was kind of cool. This is a live recording from Passion, I think Passion 2018. It's a really big Christian worship concert thing. And, it has Crowder on it, Christian Stanfill, Taryn Wells, so it was pretty recent. This is Audio Adrenaline's Kings and Queens, a really awesome album. I'm not really an Audio Adrenaline fan, but I really like Kevin Max. He has, he sings on this album, and it's really great. This is a really great Christian contemporary music album. And that's like a sentence you're not going to hear me say very often, because Christian contemporary music really isn't great for the most part. This is another Christian contemporary music album I really like. Newsboys Born Again Miracles Edition. Basically a deluxe version of Newsboys Born Again. One of the first Michael Tate albums. It might have been the first Michael Tate album. I'm not sure. But, funny story about this is one of the first CDs I ever owned. And I lost it. And after I collected CDs, I realized after a while, after like years, I realized I lost it. I didn't have it anymore. Couldn't find it. And so I bought it again off of Amazon. And then we ended up finding it later. So this is the version, this is the second copy of this. The first copy is still somewhere else, but I ended up finding it much later after I bought this again. And this is an album that my dad gave me. Never heard of the artist, never heard of the album, and it was really great. This is a really great album. Rick Blair, Always by My Side. Really, really good Christian singer-songwriter album. And that's all for my Christian albums. Next up are my electronic music albums. And what better to kick things off than Daft Punk's legendary Random Access Memories. What an awesome album. Packaging for this one is very, very cool. The booklet is really neat. Sorry about it being kind of blurry. That's annoying. There we go. And then I actually have two Moby albums, neither of which I bought from Amazon. I got both of these. This one I got at Second and Charles yesterday, Moby's Play. You know, his most critically acclaimed album. It's said to be the best Moby album. Never, I listened to it a little bit, and it sounded really good, but didn't get all the way through it. This one, 18, named for its 18 songs. Found this at Goodwill. Same day I found the Bjork album. Also very exciting, because I like the album artwork. It's cool. And Moby actually writes essays, which he puts in the album sleeves, which is, the sleeve is, that's the sleeve right there. It actually comes out. And, yeah, it's, the essays are kind of weird, and they're really long, so I don't know who he really expects to read those. I didn't really read most of them. Now I have 3 Owl City albums to show you. This is the worst packaging I've ever seen this is the second worst packaging I've ever seen on a CD. It's these horribly distorted looking images. Like, it looks kind of ugly. The text doesn't really, it's very unflattering. It just looks bad. Like, it looks a lot worse than the actual CD cover. Like the digital version of the cover. And then, this is the worst looking CD. And you can see me as well because it's a clear CD. But this is such an ugly CD. And this is so ugly. And it's not a booklet. It's just this. It's just this and that. That's the whole thing. And I don't like it. It's really not good. This is much better. This is very nice. It's, it's one of those ones that doesn't come in like a box. It's like actually flat and clear. And you have that, which is really cool artwork on the back. Looks very nice on the inside right there. And then that right there. Just really, really nice. Really beautiful album. This is my favorite Owl City album. I can't wait to talk about it because I love this album. And this is a pop album, but I'm showing you my Owl City album, so I might as well just get it over with. Really not a great album, but one thing I do like about this, and it just popped out, but the CD is cool. Once again, it's kind of dark, it's kind of hard to see. It says Owl City in the bottom, Mobile Orchestra. But I really like that CD for some reason. It looks really cool. That is it for my electronic music albums. Now we're going to be looking at alternative albums, which is by a long shot the thing I have the most of, and this is Titanic Rising by Weyes Blood. One of the best albums of the year, unanimously decided upon by critics. Like, really good album. Really, really cool looking CD and artwork as well. Really like that. This is X and Y by Coldplay. Here you go. It's kind of hard to read stuff on the back. Very plain artwork, very plain colors. Once again, kind of hard to see with the camera and how dark everything is. I own 3 21 Pilots albums. This is Vessel, their major label debut. And this is so cool, but it actually has extra songs on it that are not on the digital version. It has Glowing Eyes, Kitchen Sink, Lovely, and Forest. You know, all of which are great songs besides Kitchen Sink. I'm not a huge fan of that one, but the rest of those are really fantastic songs. Blurry Face, another album. That's awesome. This is a really cool album. Really, really cool looking packaging. Look at this. The booklet has some really cool pictures. Look at that. Look at that. Really, really awesome. And here is Trench with its cool camo look. I actually bought this on Amazon. I bought this on Walmart. This is one of 2 albums that I have purchased at Walmart. We'll get to that other one later in the video. Picked this up at Second & Charles yesterday. Let's go. I love the CD. I love the CD. It's just pink. It's just pink. There's no words. No text. I love how simple it is. Didn't even take the tag off that one. Next up is Foster the People. Here is Supermodel, my favorite Foster the People album. Really, really fantastic packaging. This is some of my favorite packaging of any album I own. I mean, the booklet has the coolest artwork. Each song has its own artwork, and it's really, really awesome. One of my favorite album covers of all time, if we look in on this guy right here, that is my YouTube channel. That's my YouTube channel cover. So, of course, I love this album. Really fantastic debut album. This made me so excited. Found this at Second & Charles, the only Modest Mouse album I own, despite them being my all-time favorite band. Look at that backwards artwork. That artwork on the back, I should say. So cool. I love this album. I own 2 Arcade Fire albums. This is honestly some of the best packaging I've ever seen. You can't tell, but it feels like a different texture. It's not like just that plastic feel that every other clear thing has. And you actually have to turn it over to see like the words. Oh, you can hear that. You can hear that it's like feels different. Look at that. Very, very nice. This is Neon Bible, the same band, and this is actually a sleeve. Look at this. There you go. So this is what you see on your phone when you were listening to the album, and this is the actual CD. Very, very cool. Look at that. Very neat. I love this album cover. I've listened to this album once, thought it was pretty good, and I saw it at Second & Charles and was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. The actual booklet has really awesome artwork. Really, really, really cool artwork in the booklet. Radiohead's Hail to the Thief. This one has a really interesting booklet. The way the lyrics are written and everything, and it's just a lot of this cover where you see all the different words and everything. It's a lot of that in the booklet, and it's really, really cool. It's the CD. This is a Fall Out Boy album. Found this at Goodwill. Thought the album cover looked awesome, and I bought it. And it is really cool packaging, and really, really funny song titles, which you can't see because it's dark, which is dumb. But really, really cool looking album. Not the best album. I'm not a huge fan of it. This is another album with a sleeve. There it is. The sleeve doesn't do a whole lot for it other than, give you the name. This album was, nominated for the Grammys. Hopefully it'll win something because I really like it. Only Vampire Weekend album that I own. Doom Days by Bastille. Went to the concert, and with the purchase of a ticket, you get a free CD. So I would not have bought the CD myself, but hey, it was free. So Bastille's Haunt. This is actually an EP, which only has 4 songs on it. I don't know why I didn't buy the album. I went for the EP instead. This is Bleachers Gone Now. This guy is legendary, Jack Antonoff. He's the behind-the-scenes guy for a ton of really popular pop songs and Lana Del Rey's new album. So this man is a powerhouse. This guy's crazy. And that's all of my alternative albums. This really stinks, guys, but I finished filming everything, and then like half of the videos got corrupted, or half of this video like didn't work. Like stupid iCloud photos. So I'm refilming some of this from this point onward. But here's some other albums. I forgot when I went over my alternative albums, I didn't even mention my Death Cab for Cutie collection, which is the artist I own the most CDs of. Here's Thank You for Today. Right here. Pretty good album. I think it's the worst of the four most recent Death Cab for Cutie albums, but still pretty good. Kintsugi. Also good album. And just to open it up, there you go. It's kind of cool. This is Narrow Stairs, one of the best Death Cab for Cutie albums ever. Really, really great. There you go. Kind of cool. And Codes and Keys. And that's all the Death Cab for Cutie CDs I own. Next up, we're going to be looking at my pop albums, of which I only have 2. And neither of which I bought off of Amazon or Goodwill or anything. And so this is the first one, 1989 by Taylor Swift. Pretty iconic album. I actually bought this off of my brother, who received it as a Christmas gift. And then I didn't buy it for myself. I bought it for one of my friends, and we were supposed to hang out, and I was going to give it to him as a late birthday present. And he just didn't show up, and we didn't hang out. And you know what? I just put it in my collection and said, hey, this is mine now. So, apologies to my friend. Here is Neo Theater by AJR. One of the worst albums of the year, according to people like, Anthony Fantano, The Needle Drop, Art TV. I personally don't hate it. I actually went to the concert, and the CD came free with the concert ticket, so that's why I own this album. And that's it for my pop albums. Next up, we're going to be looking at my old albums. This is anything from the 90s and older. I'm qualifying as old albums. I didn't talk about my alternative section. And you know what? This is awesome. This is so awesome. Bjork. I mean, this is cool. That's just, found that at Goodwill. It was a really, really cool find. And this is the only album, this is the only Pink Floyd album that I own, and the only old album that I bought off of Amazon. Every other one of these albums you're going to be seeing are albums I got from Second and Charles or Goodwill. But you know what? I really like this album, and so I decided to buy it on Amazon, and I'm glad I did. I think this is the very first Bruce Springsteen album. Picked this up at Second and Charles. Here's the back. Never listened to Bruce Springsteen, but I'm, planning on it. This is a really great album. Led Zeppelin. Pretty cool. Pretty good. It's got Good Times, Bad Times on it. It's got some good songs. This is the legendary The Joshua Tree by U2. Very, very good album. And Achtung Baby, or however you're supposed to say that, which has really cool packaging. Like, the pictures on the inside are really cool, and the stuff on the back. The CD itself is pretty neat. Oh, fell out. I'm just going to grab that. It's pretty cool. And I also found this at Second and Charles. Has the famous song Cannonball on it. In case you aren't familiar with the Breeders. Really, really great album. And this is the only best of album that I own. The only compilation best whatever album that I own. And it's really great. I really like this album. It's really cool. This is, I just said that was the only compilation I owned. A friend gifted this to me. And it's just a compilation of famous rock songs from 1972 to 1973. And it's alright. There's some good songs on there. Next are my Genesis albums. This is Abacab. I don't know how to say that, but very good album. I really like this album. This one is nearly as good, but still not bad. Genesis, Invisible Touch. You know, it had the legendary song Invisible Touch on it. So, yeah. And last but not least, Tom Petty's Into the Great Wide Open. Love the album artwork for this. Pretty nice on the back as well. I really like this album. And that's it for my really old albums. Next up is my Christian rap. We're going to kick things off with The Misadventures of Fern and Marty. I love this album. These guys are not super popular in Christian rap, but that's unfortunate because they're really great. This is a really, really fun album. Here's a CD. I really like the CD on that one. I also like the CD for this one, Into the Night, which came after The Misadventures of Fern and Marty. Also has some really cool songs on it. I like this one a lot, especially the first couple songs. They're really good. And once again, I love that CD. Look at that. That's really nice. One of my favorite albums of all time, The Narrative. And just a heads up, this one actually is missing 3 songs that are on the digital version. The digital version has Road to Humble, Maybe Both, and My Hood USA. And this one doesn't have those. So if you want to hear those songs, you're going to be disappointed with the CD. Next up are my Lecrae things. I have his mixtape, Church Clothes Volume 2, which isn't amazing, but I like the cover art, so I bought it. And then Gravity, which is some of the best packaging I've ever seen. It's stylized upside down, so you flip it over, and those are the songs right there. And then it opens up, not just like this, but also like this. And there's the CD artwork. And then this comes out and it has stuff on it. It's like a booklet. Really, really, really cool. Next up, this is Uncomfortable by Andy Mineo, aptly named from the cover. He looks very uncomfortable. There you go. Track list. I don't know why it's not clarifying. But this is a really good album. This is one of the first rap albums that I really liked. And I think it helped really get me into rap music and helped me, like, you know, become a fan of rap music. This is Crooked by Propaganda. One of the best albums of the decade. Talked a little bit about it in my best albums of the decade list. Really, really great stuff. Here is the best NF album, Therapy Session. I'm not really up for debating that. Comment what your favorite NF album is below in the comments, but this is the best one, in my very correct opinion. And this is a fantastic album with some of the worst, ugliest packaging I've ever seen. It is Good Religion by Dream Junkies. The packaging is absolutely awful. This album has 12 songs on it, and for some reason only lists 9 on the back cover. And then you open it up, and one side of the booklet says 11 songs. And then you actually take out the booklet, which is literally just this. That's the whole booklet. There's nothing on this page. And then it says it has 12 songs. You can't even see it because of the dumb background. And the album does have 12 songs. So it's very ugly, bad packaging. And the CD itself looks very ugly as well. This is not good packaging. And that's it for my Christian rap. Lastly, I would like to talk about, I own this for some reason. This is the most recent purchase I've made at Walmart. Because I just went to Walmart and said, you know what? I'm going to buy a CD at Walmart. And it's going to be awesome. And, you know what? It wasn't awesome. It's not terrible. But, you know, it's got Ty Dolla $ign. It's got Panic at the Disco. It has Grimes. It has 21 Pilots. I really want to own a Grimes CD. Also MGMT and Passion Pit. I really regret not having those in my collection. But that's it. Thank you guys. Oh, also nice. It's got a pink CD. I like that. And that is all of my entire CD collection.
thank you guys for watching the video. It really stinks that I had to do this in 2 takes because it was pretty good on the first take. It's just stupid. I ran out of storage when I was filming it because my phone has the smallest storage I've ever seen on a phone ever. It has like 8 GB total or something. It's a ridiculously small amount. I have nothing on my phone. I have like literally nothing, and it takes up all the GB because I don't have any GB for filming or anything, which is really annoying. I need a new phone. Anyway, we need a clickbaity thumbnail, so I'm just gonna hold up Dark Side of the Moon and just be like, yeah, I think that'll work. Thank you for watching the video. Have a great rest of your day.